Hello and welcome. If this is our first time together, my name is Patrick Geary. I am an intuitive astrologer and celestial channel, and today I have a message for you from the planet Mars. I'm recording this on January 8th, and I want to say that even if you are watching this later, that you still have access to the energy of which I speak. I am recording this now, you are watching this now, we meet in the now. It's all here. So I wondered why this message was coming through so clearly. And the answer is pretty evident. It's an extraordinary time for Mars. Mars has just entered into the heart of the sun in what we would call a cazimi. And when a planet experiences a cazimi, it is a time of intense purification. It is a time of elevation, and it's a time of divinity. We might imagine that this planet is taking its seat alongside the throne on which the sun sits. The sun is the center of our solar system. It is by far the largest entity or body in our solar system, and it is the source of all life here on Earth. And when a planet passes through the heart of the sun, instead of dealing with its maybe more mundane affairs, it speaks with the authority, the divine authority, and the higher perspective that our stellar consciousness provides. So, Mars is in an exceptionally elevated state right now. It is in the sign of Capricorn, which in traditional terms would be considered a place of exaltation. And this is very much akin to being an honored guest. So we're looking at Mars already in a place of honor, of dignity, being elevated even further through its direct contact with the sun. And at the same time, Venus is in the same degree as Mars and the sun, which is truly exceptional. I've never seen this before. I don't know that I will ever get to see it again in my lifetime. Venus has just completed its own cazimi process, so is fresh and new and there to support Mars as Mars begins to go through its own purification process, which will last for about the next 48 or so hours. So seeing these three together in that same degree, on that same step in the zodiac, is truly a monumental event. I also want to highlight that there is a system of symbols, the Sabian symbols, which look at the energy of each degree of the zodiac and provides a specific image and an energetic footprint or map for what that degree of the zodiac holds. So if we're looking at here at 18 degrees of Capricorn, the symbol for this is a child of about 5 years old carrying a huge shopping bag filled with groceries, which is kind of a great image if you think about it. And it undoubtedly raises big themes of responsibility. It can bring up themes around feeling weighed down. It can also talk about going above and beyond, or maybe even biting off more than you can chew. And it raises up qualities of strength, ambition, and achievement. And it's really interesting to me that this image is a child carrying these groceries because what that brings in for me is a delightfully playful approach, the need for a playful approach as we are fulfilling our responsibilities. It also really struck me that this image I have behind me of these Clydesdale horses who are pausing to rest and appreciate this magical meadow behind them, these animals that are built to, well, to carry huge shopping bags filled with groceries because they have that strength, that force, that power, that they are in this beautiful, magical, playful landscape. And that to me also has this gorgeous, childlike sense of wonder. And this knowledge that even as we pursue our ambitions, and even as we achieve, and even as we demonstrate our strength, which are also wonderfully martial words, especially for Mars and Capricorn, that we can still realize that we're just playing around. We're just here to enjoy ourselves. And the story that we might tell ourselves that it's work that makes the world go around, well, that doesn't have to be the story. Maybe the world is going around anyway, and work is just a story we tell ourselves about why it's going around. So I really love that we're seeing this image connect with some of the earlier insight or intuition that I received as I was tuning into Capricorn season as a whole. And the messages that I got very specifically and clearly from Mars, and these are, of course, for me in my own life, and they're also for you. They're for all of us. This is how astrology works. And the two themes that emerged were around structure and productivity. So, looking first at structure. And when I think about Capricorn, I do think about structure. It is a cardinal earth sign. It is really the sign that we would maybe most associate with putting structures into place, structures that are built to last. Earth is the heaviest or densest element. And here, when I think about Capricorn, I think so often about rocks. I think about heavy materials. I think about building castles. I think about legacies. I think about creating things that truly, through a sense of ongoing stewardship, remain with us through generations and generations. So this isn't just like a ramshackle structure that we put up overnight and then release. This is something that's really built to last. And that can feel heavy. All these words I just used, that can feel really heavy. But I had this image as I was tuning into structure where rather than seeing these heavy, imposing structures as things that are encasing us, I saw a playground and I saw all of these beautiful, sturdy, reliable structures with children climbing all over them. And of course, that is what happens in a playground. We build jungle gyms. We build monkey bars. We build these wonderful, solidly metal. We want them to be solid. Children are going to be playing on them. They're going to be jumping all over them. We want them to last. And we also want them to be joyful. And kids can easily move in and out of the structures. They can get into the structures and create their own imaginative worlds. They can climb up the structures. They can stretch. They can reach. They can reach new heights. And it's all playful. It's all joyful. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel stuck. So, what would it be like if we had that sort of a relationship with the structures in our lives, with the routines in our lives? If we realize that we're coming into them and we're playing and we're creating our own worlds, and we can also go above them. We can move around. We can move freely. We can move to other structures and play with those structures over there. To me, that just felt so wonderfully open. And it really brings in this lightness that is so helpful when we're dealing with some of the heavier energies that can be sitting around us. And the other theme that emerged, this theme of productivity. And I have perhaps developed an allergy to productivity or to the idea of productivity. And part of this is going back to the Industrial Revolution when this idea of productivity was really maybe shifted or changed into perhaps a heavy belief system around earning that you need to go and you're going to the widget factory and you need to make a certain number of widgets every day. And you make those widgets. And if you are productive and you hit your target, then you are paid what you need in order to subsist. And this is a model that was propagated during the Industrial Revolution. Of course, it's not the true story of what is going on here on our planet Earth, but it's a story, and it's a story that we have been told for many, many, many years. And perhaps even this is that story that work makes the world go around. And as a result of that, I have rebelled against the notion of being productive. But it suddenly occurred to me a few hours ago, wow, would I really want my life to be unproductive? Would I want to go to a meeting and say, well, that meeting was really unproductive, or that day was really unproductive? I don't think so. Productivity feels good. It feels nice. It's just how we limit it. What if we start talking about having a really productive rest, having a really productive nap, having a really productive meal, having a really productive day off, having a productive vacation? Everything is producing something. Everything is producing an experience. We're here to have an experience. We're always producing an experience. And even if you think about the idea of a producer, of someone who is creating a show or creating a movie, bringing in the resources, holding the space for it to happen, putting that structure into place, that also feels really joyful and creative and interesting and playful. So, what's it like to reframe our attitudes around productivity and to start considering everything as productive? And I wonder if what really makes experiences productive is presence. That if I simply show up in my full presence, then every moment will feel productive because I'm here for the experience that is being produced. I'm witnessing it. I'm part of it. I'm aware of how I'm creating it. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoy these insights as they have flowed through me. And I wish you a wonderfully structured, productive, and playful time.